I'm Jessicat, and behind me things may not look so interesting, but in front of me, I think they sure do. This is a preset for a customized world called Mountain Madness, and I love it. I think this just looks so cool, and so many build ideas are coming to mind right now as I look at this place. And today I want to kind of go over some of the really cool stuff you can do with customized worlds in Minecraft, and maybe give you some ideas for what you could do with it yourself. So as I mentioned, that was a preset, and I'm going to quickly go through some of the other presets you can find. This one is called Good Luck, and personally, I couldn't figure out why it was called Good Luck. I couldn't figure out what was so special about it. The terrain does seem a little bit taller than usual, but other than that, it doesn't seem that hard to get around. It looks like your basic Minecraft world. There's a lot more llamas than usual, but I don't think that's a bad thing. And in general, this preset was kind of disappointing to me, but maybe you'll have better luck and you'll find an ultra tough world. I don't know. Anyway, that's Good Luck in case you wanted to see that. There's also Caves of Chaos, which I thought was really cool at first, but the more I looked around, the more I was like, this is okay, but it's not great. This is what it looks like. It's kind of interesting to me, but it's no more than that. Oh, there's an Enderman carrying a gravel block. There's a lot of mobs walking around here because it's dark. And this place is kind of a mess, and it looks interesting enough in my opinion, but I honestly think I'd get bored of this after a while. And maybe you're thinking, well, no, this place is amazing, and I would never get bored of it ever. And if so, you are more than welcome to load up this preset for yourself. And anyway, that is Mountain Madness. By the way, the terrain stretches all the way up to 255, and so that means you get a glitch where hostile mobs will spawn up here, and like the sky goes really weird, and I think it's very strange, but that's, shoot, what was this one called? Caves of Chaos, that's Caves of Chaos. There's also Drought, I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. I was never actually sure how to pronounce that word. But again, this one was kind of disappointing too. I don't understand why it's called that. Because you'd think in a world called Drought there's no water, but there's quite a lot of water everywhere. So maybe I'm using the preset wrong, or maybe I missed something, or maybe I just got unlucky. But in any case, feel free to try out this world yourself if you want. You won't get exactly the same world as me because it's still based on a seed, I believe. But you might get some more interesting results, I don't know. And moving on, we have, I showed you Mountain Madness, Caver's Delight, which again I thought was kind of cool, but it wasn't my favorite. I mean, you get these really crazy formations, and I have night vision on, by the way, which is why everything looks so bright. But you get these really big areas that I thought were kind of cool, that I might enjoy exploring at first, and by the way, it's really dark in here usually, and the clouds are here, and like we're really high up. But you get these really big wide open spaces and like just big terrain generation, which I thought was interesting, and maybe like worth checking out for a bit, but not for very long. And that's just my opinion. Feel free to use this, because it is, I do think it is kind of cool. But now we're going to move into the ones I like better, such as Isleland, and I like the play on words there in the title. And oh, I used the /locate command to find a mansion, but in general, I think this place looks pretty awesome. There's just all these random islands just floating in the sky, and some of them are huge and some of them are tiny, and I just love it. I think it looks so cool, and this mansion just sitting here in the middle just makes it look even more cool in my opinion. But I could totally see myself like building bridges and doing all sorts of cool stuff with this place. So yeah, this is another world that I think keeps the ideas flowing, and I really, really like it. But again, that's just my opinion. Just showing all of you all of these so you can make up your own mind. And then, this might be the last one. Yeah, I think Waterworld is the last preset that Mojang has done for you to experiment with the custom worlds, and it is basically exactly what the name would suggest. The clouds are under the water here because I believe the sea level is like at the maximum it could possibly be. Yeah, I think it's at like 254. So basically the sea level is almost as high as it could possibly be, and you just have these little islands poking out. And I think that's a really cool idea. I think it looks really neat, and there could be a lot of fun to be had here. But, I mean, going down to the bottom of the ocean seems like you'd have to do it at some point, but it doesn't seem as rewarding as you might want it to be. And personally, I think it's a cool idea, but I might get bored of this one too. I don't know. Anyway, those are all the presets, and now you might be wondering, well, how do I use these presets? Well, don't worry, because I'm going to show you. So you want to go into your Create New World, you want to change the game mode to whatever you want, then you go to More World Options, and here you click through World Type until you come to Customized, and then you can click on Customize, and here we are. We have a whole bunch of options here. You can change the sea level. I'll show you some crazy stuff with that later on. Then you can turn off or on all of these natural, what are they called? All of the buildings, all of the structures, that's what they're called. You can customize those however you want. You can turn on lava oceans if you want, which is exactly what it sounds like. You just get this huge ocean of lava. You can change the dungeon count, which I believe is the spawners. So if you increase that, you get a lot of spawners in your world, mob spawners. And then you can change the biome down here, which I think could be really interesting. So if you want your world to be all swamped, you could do that. And you can also change the river size and the biome size. If you want your biomes to be really big, you can increase it. If you want your biomes to be really small, you can decrease it. You can also change the spawn rates of different blocks underground. So if you want dirt to be really rare for some reason, you'd have a lot of trouble with that actually, because dirt spawns on the surface no matter what. I've tested this, but you could make the spawn size 1 and the spawn size 1 or 0, and you could reduce the max height to like 5 or something, I don't know. But you could mess with all of these. You could change the rarity of coal ore or iron ore to make it really hard to get either of those, or even diamond. You could make diamond even more rare or super common, in fact. And then we get to the stuff that I think is the most interesting. These, to be completely honest, I have no idea what they do. But I can tell you that if we go to the default everything, and then we click randomize, we can get some really interesting results. I'm going to click randomize a couple of times here. I don't think it really matters, but if you just randomize these expert users' advanced settings, you get some really interesting results sometimes, and I'll show you a world that I got that I thought was really cool with this. But if you randomize these, I think it ends up looking really cool. Sometimes anyway. I'm gonna call this custom 7 because I have a bunch of other custom worlds, and we are gonna go in and live see what we've created. But the random settings I think make things just a tiny bit more interesting. So let's find out what sort of monstrosity we've created if the world wants to load for me, which always takes a while with these custom presets. And also my computer doesn't like these very much. And oh, we spawned in a village. Well, that's nice. But let's see what else this world has to offer. Not much it looks like. I don't see anything that's particularly of interest, but I do think it's kind of cool. I mean, you have a really large taiga forest, if that's what you're into. But I have gotten some really cool worlds with the randomize option, and I'd like to show you one of those right now. So let's see. It's all the way down here. It was, which one of these was it? Oh, so this is one that I used the random setting on, and as you can see, things get kind of weird and wacky and bizarre sometimes. So this has created terrain just all over the place, Like, these stripes kind of remind me of the far lands, but then you get these gigantic pillars that go up into the sky. And if you want to play on a world that has really crazy settings like this, then I highly recommend just clicking randomize and maybe generating a few different worlds to see which one you prefer, because this one to me just looks absolutely amazing. I'd love to play on this world. I'm genuinely considering doing a series on it. If you want me to do that, please let me know in the comments, because I think it would be really cool. But that is not actually the one I wanted to show you. The one I wanted to show you was, and let me see if I can find it. I think it was this one, Custom 4. Hang on. Yes, it was this one. So this is actually somewhat similar to the Isleland preset, but I like this one a lot better because it just seems so unique. You've got all these islands with holes in them that kind of partly connect, and I just see so much potential here. I see so many ideas. There's so much stuff popping into my mind right now, and I think it's crazy, like, how many things you could do with this terrain. You could build over it or in it, or you could build so many bridges and just work on conquering this world, which I think would be so cool, and I would love to do a series here. So again, please let me know in the comments if you want me to use this world for a series, because I would absolutely love that. I think this is so cool. I really, really like this world. But anyway, I'd also like to show you a couple of other things you can do with this, and that is, one example of that is you could create a kind of, I guess, a peaceful world. So if I scroll all the way over here, I think I saw it. Yeah, Mushroom Island or Mushroom Island Shore. If I set the biome to one of those, of course, hostile mobs can't spawn in Mushroom Island biomes, so if you set the whole world to that, you won't get any hostile mobs spawning there. And that means you can have a completely peaceful world where you just have nothing but mushrooms and mycelium and water. And personally, I like that. I think it's a cool idea for a world, but honestly, it might get kind of boring at times. I mean, because you just, like, even though there are no monsters, which I personally would enjoy, there's not much to explore. It's just Mushroom Island, or yeah, it's mushroom, 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 no matter how far you go. And if I do, for example, /locate mansion, it won't find any, because there's no woodland mansions in this world because there are no roofed forests. And I just think this could be really cool if you don't want any mobs in your world. One of the things that I've always found frustrating is that when you turn on peaceful, you turn on a whole bunch of other stuff as well, such as you turn off the hunger, for example. And what if you want to play with hunger but with no hostile mobs? I don't know. This seems like a cool idea, and maybe you'll enjoy it. I don't know. But in any case, there's a couple of other things I want to show you. First one is this one, which was an all river biome, so I just set the biome to river, I believe. Yeah, so everything here is just river, river, river. Somehow this patch of land managed to generate, but yeah, it's still in a river biome. And you just have endless water here, but it's very flat, so I think kind of a structure built on the water, or like just above the water, would be really cool and interesting here. But that's just an idea, and I kind of like this one too. And there's also a lot of clay in case you really like building with bricks, because clay is sometimes hard to find, so this might be a good way of getting some. So that's just a suggestion if you want to change your biome to river. Then there's also a crazy thing that happens when you change the sea level to something really high. So this world right here is a world where I set the sea level to, I think it was 156 or something. You can see that once again the clouds are under the sea, But that's not what I thought was crazy. So I used the /locate command here again to find a witch's hut, just so you could see that the witch's hut extends all the way under the water here. And you can see that there's terrain that has generated under the water, but it's not, in my opinion, very interesting terrain. You can't see it very well, but it's actually all made out of gravel, which I think is just a side effect of everything being underwater. Even though we are in a swampland, everything is just gravel, gravel, gravel. There's no dirt as far as I can tell anywhere, and I'm gonna go check right now because I did dig out another one of these pits. I just used a command to fill in the water with some barrier blocks, and I think this could pose an interesting challenge, but I honestly don't think it's worth trying out because you just get nothing but gravel terrain. So you could set the sea level to a little bit lower than this and you'd probably get interesting results. You'd probably get some terrain that pokes out from above the water, but in general, I think this was an interesting idea, but not really one worth doing. But just in case you wanted to see this, this is what happens when you put the sea level at something crazy, like, yeah, in this case it's 156, just in case you wanted to see that. And actually, I believe that is all I wanted to show you today. If you want me to go through the customize settings, all the crazy expert ones that are here, if you want me to go through and try to figure out what those are, please let me know with a like on the video or a comment, and I'll probably do that if enough people show interest, because I do think it would be cool to go through and do all of these, but I do know it would also take a lot of time, and I don't really have the time to do such a thing if nobody wants me to do it. So just let me know if you want to see that done, and that's going to be it. That's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope I gave you some ideas, and thank you for watching. Bye!